To a series of tweets from Adam Jones by writing, "All I want for Christmas is the Bengals. Would love to see them in the playoffs where they choke. The talking is done between the lines." We need a Hall of Famer here to weigh in. A Steeler great, Jerome Bretis in the house. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You never talked any trash to the Bengals.
Well, the trash that I talked was on the field, in between the lines.
I don't think anybody talked
Like
trash to you, though.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, they kind of looked at you and said, the buzz.
They saw him coming.
I don't think they did that to you. I'm just guessing.
Especially not in Cincinnati. That was the one team, I have the most yards of any team against Cincinnati. So I always had a really good game.
Why was that?
Because they struggled to stop the run.
And they talked a lot.
And they talked, they talked a lot. They did talk a lot. And especially, they would always find a way to beat us in Pittsburgh. We'd always beat them in Cincinnati.
That just happened again this year.
It just, historically, that's always been the case. But it never really was a talking contest. It was always on the field. Everybody knew, hey, it's a big game. We're playing against Cincinnati. Well, let's get ready to go. Because they always found a way to beat us at home. So we always knew that there was the potential for them to beat us in Cincinnati. So we were always focused for this game. It was never really a war of words.
It's changed now. New era, both on the Twitter and obviously there. Who has the edge in this bad blood battle here?
I would have to say right now, you've got to say Pittsburgh has the edge because they've got their quarterback. When you have your starting quarterback, you're going to have an advantage over a team that has a backup quarterback, a very inexperienced quarterback. Now, he's had some games. He's gotten a lot better since he came in against Pittsburgh in the regular season, but he's still, the backup quarterback. And because of that, I think you've got to give the edge to Pittsburgh. The way that this offense has been playing the latter part of the season would lead you to believe that they have the potential to score a lot of points. Now, can A.J. McCarron, can he score a lot of points? That becomes a question because we know the Steelers' defense has a propensity to give up some points. So you know that the possibility is there, but can A.J. McCarron lead that offense and score enough points to beat the Steelers?
Okay, is there any advantage to be gained pre-week in trash talk, bad blood?
There is an advantage from the team, right now that would be Cincinnati. There's an advantage for Cincinnati because all of the things that the Steelers are saying, we want to play Cincinnati and we always beat Cincinnati, all those comments, what it does is it doesn't lead to a better Sunday. It leads to a better Wednesday practice, a better Thursday practice, a better Friday practice, and then, therefore, your Sunday performance is going to be better because you had 3 really good practices. And so that's what guys, if you're going to talk Friday, talk Saturday. Don't talk early in the week because these guys are going to get really good, heated practices, thinking about you, and now they go out there and perform better on Sunday.
That's one good point. Here's another. The fact that you would open your mouth at all if you are a Cincinnati Bengal makes you the epitome of idiocy. Here's the reason. Not only have you not won a playoff game in the 12 years that Marvin Lewis has coached, not only am I looking for Marvin Lewis to win his first playoff game, because I've been on a warpath for 3 years, he should be gone. He should be gone. And it's not because I don't respect Marvin Lewis. It's not because I don't like him. It's not because I haven't heard all of the laudables and the accolades aimed in his direction. What he inherited, what he put together, how the organization once was compared to how it is now, et cetera, et cetera. But my attitude is I can't talk about any of these other coaches that I've talked about and how it's time for them to move on and then let Marvin Lewis pass. I'm not being fair. I'm not being fair. The man's been there for 12 years. He ain't won a damn playoff game. Okay, that's a problem. It's a problem. That's number one. Here's the biggest point. The Cincinnati Bengals in recent history have a history of hurting Steelers.
Yeah.
And the belief is it's cheap shots. Le'Veon Bell last year.
Mostly Burfict.
Burfict. And I forgot who's the guy that it wasn't Burfict that hit Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, that was number 20. That was the safety.
I forgot his name. I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about last year.
I got it.
The safety.
Where Le'Veon Bell wasn't really 100%. You go up against Baltimore Ravens last year. So I'm just looking at it from that perspective. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you really want to get slick, as opposed to just letting your testosterone take over, if you just wanted to get cerebral and slick, you could sit there and say to the league office, you see what we dealing with? Could you watch these guys? This is what they do. The headshots, cheap shots, low blows, hits after the player's over, stuff on the sidelines, chirping and talking and instigating. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm trying to win a football game, I could get slick and sort of nudge the officials just a little bit, because some penalties might work in my favor.
Absolutely.
That'll get the best of you, because, again, you're Cincinnati, your emotions are high, your intellect has clearly left the building because you're now wise enough to do what Jerome Bettis just highlighted. If you're going to talk late in the week, not early in the week.
Right.
Or don't talk at all, like I'm saying, because you need to watch yourself, because you don't want to sit there and put yourself in a precarious position with the officials before the game begins. And by the way, the Cincinnati Bengals are the number 2 ranked defense, but they're 20th against the pass. What is the Steelers' ultimate weapon? Their passing game. Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, even though he does have to get a bit tougher, like Big Ben said.
And I think this is all about Cincinnati,
that's
too.
Right. That's
you got to be tough for this.
You got to be tough for this one.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. All those things work to the Steelers' favor. How in God's name are you a rival in the AFC North and you don't know better than that?
Okay. So we have just heard from an ex-Steeler and a crazed Steeler fan from childhood on, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm
so
not.
we've had no objectivity
I
yet.
have no bias. You don't either.
But that was objective. What
Thank
he
you. We all know when it comes to
the
crazed
bias.
fan, you own that, not me.
Well,
But you're objective here.
Yeah,
You
I'm
own
objective on this game.
Yes.
I don't have
On
a
this
stake
game.
here.
No.
I don't
On
have a
this game.
stake.
But we're excited for it.
I do think there is genuine hate between these two teams. It's respectful hate because they do both play the right way. They play hard, man. I mean, they play physical defense.
And both coaches deserve credit for that.
They do. But there is this respectful hate going back and forth. I got to tell you, what's today, Wednesday? I am leaning toward picking Cincinnati to win this game. It's starting to feel like it's shaping up for Cincinnati to win. I liked what Ryan Clark said sitting in that seat yesterday, that Cincinnati knows how to defend that high-flying offense. They do a pretty good job as it goes. It's hard. You can't stop it. But they do know how to defend it. They have the pieces to defend it. And I go back to the first game they played this year. Again, to your point, there's this home and home thing where one team is more afraid of getting embarrassed on the road, so they play better on the road. I don't know what it is, but Cincinnati went in there and shut them down. Now, I'm going back to, what was this, November the 1st. It was 16-10, visiting team at Pittsburgh. And Ben was okay, 28 of 45 for 262. Not great. They did
coming
run
off injury. He was.
I agree. Yeah, he was a little rusty.
Yes, he was.
But they did run for 116. But where they got just shut down was on third down, 3 for 11, and that's why they scored 10 points in that game. And Andy Dalton was pretty good with 231. Played he kind of maxed out in that game. That was probably the best you could get from Andy Dalton. They win 16-10. Then Andy Dalton goes down early in the next game, just a few weeks back. And as you said, McCarron comes in. It's a little shaky. Well, now he's getting his legs underneath him. I respect A.J. McCarron. You agreed with me yesterday.
No, I've always been a fan of A.J. McCarron.
He's played in so many big games in college for Alabama, big stage games, and always played pretty to very well in all those games. Yeah. Is he wildly talented? He's not. But his skill set is about like Andy Dalton's to me. So I think he's a more trustable Andy Dalton in these games. I do not think he'll choke. I don't think he'll come apart. I don't think he'll flinch. And I do think that the 30th ranked pass defense, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, is going to be under some fire from A.J. Green and company with A.J. throwing to A.J. So I'm starting to like, with the bad blood, I think it might get Cincinnati up for this game. Like you said, some good hard practices. I'm starting to like their chances with A.J. versus Andy.
I'll confess to you guys and Molly that I'm surprised the Steelers are the favorites, because Cincinnati was the better team for most of this season. They won the division. The game is on their home turf, etc. I'm surprised by that. But I look at A.J. McCarron, I'm very impressed. His decision-making period is phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
my point to you is the man is very adroit at the quarterback position.
I just got it.
You just
I'm a little late to the party.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get your minds out the gutter. Let's stick to football. The point that I'm trying to make.
My mind wasn't in the gutter. I didn't bring it up.
It wasn't.
Exactly.
Well, you're across from me. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help diversify y'all. The point that I'm trying to make to you is this. I'm only joking. The point that I'm trying to make with you is this. A.J. McCarron, I believed in him coming out of Alabama. I believe in his skill set. I believe this guy could be an NFL quarterback. But you can't tell me religiously experience matters. And then Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to lose to a dude in his first playoff series. His first playoff game. I don't know about that. Go ahead.
Yes,
and that's partly why the
Once
Steelers
upon
are
a time in Denver, Colorado, Big Ben Roethlisberger lost to Tim Tebow.
Oh,
you remember that one?
Way to work
He
that
did.
I remember that.
Well, that was his first playoff game. I'm just saying it's possible.
Tebow
It
throwing
happened.
nice spirals on SportsCenter last night.
You
I
say
enjoyed
Big
those.
Ben. No disrespect, but I say Ike Taylor.
Absolutely. Gave it away. But hold on. Let's look at one thing. Let's look at one more thing here. You have to understand what Cincinnati is dealing with. They're going to play tight. Okay? They have to win this game.
He played nervous tight.
Nervous tight. Because they have to win this game.
Yeah.
Right? And at any point in this game, if it goes the other way, there's going to be some doubt that creeps in and says, oh, man, here we go again. Another playoff game, all right, that we're losing. And all of a sudden, all everything comes back from those last 6 losses, okay? And now you're dealing with the situation where, man, here we go. And it's our rivals, the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I believe the last 16 games is 14-2 in Cincinnati. The Steelers 14-2.
There's only one problem with your argument. There's only one problem.
I know what it is.
The problem
13-3, I'm sorry. Yeah.
The problem is religiously in the city of Cincinnati, the focus has been on Andy Dalton.
Thank you.
That fact that he's gone actually helps Cincinnati, in my estimation, because the person that would be feeling the heat is Dalton. Even the players would be sitting on the sideline, because I've spoken to several of them. Even the players would have been on the sideline like, look, man, he better do it this time. They don't have those reservations with AJ, because AJ doesn't have to do anything.
Nobody
expects.
Like
they don't expect
the underdogs at home.
But they're like, he's a rookie first game,
Absolutely.
So he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that same cynicism and venom aimed in his direction the way Andy Dalton did.
The last argument I'm going to make is the last time this situation happened, the Steelers, a 6 seed, going to play Cincinnati. The Steelers won the game.
Yep.
Ultimately, we went on to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, but what did you do early in that game, if I recall? Was that the Carson Palmer game?
That was the Carson Palmer game.
You knocked out Carson Palmer.
Regardless of that.
Regardless of that.
Jerome, drive that Steelers bus.
I'm not going to say.
What if the Steelers had a big time running attack? I'm saying, what if the Steelers had a big time running attack and Jerome Bettis got knocked out the game? You don't just ignore the fact that the bus is out the game.
He was
They're going to ignore the fact that
minor
Carson Palmer's out of the game.
Don't let them get in the way of a good story, Stephen A.
You got to bring it up.
All right, including the playoffs.
You got to bring it up, man.
The Steelers have won 13 of 15 against Cincinnati. Skip starting to change his opinion there, maybe a little bit.
I'm so surprised.
The line also changing on that Green Bay-Washington game. We'll discuss that one later, which is interesting as well. Jerome, thank you so much for being with us. Fun as always. Again, Happy New Year. Whatever. Up next, has Stephen A's stance changed after witnessing Tom Coughlin's emotional press conference?
Seriously?
What?
Eli, it's not you. It's not you. It's us. We win, we lose together. Remember, when we lose, I lose. When we win, you guys win. That's the way it is. That's the game. I know what it is.